Hi everyone, my name is Nina and I'm going to be sharing what I eat in a day as a vegan ballet dancer.
Hey y'all, my name is Gabriella and I'm going to show you everything I eat in a day as a protein-focused vegan model.
What I eat honestly changes on a day-to-day basis depending on my energy needs and activity level, which fluctuates a lot in ballet, especially if you're in a performing season or not. Although I like to stick to whole foods as much as possible when I can because I feel I dance my best and feel my best when I do. For breakfast, I made a simple oatmeal bowl topped with nuts and fruit. I'm beginning by bringing a pot of water to a boil. I'll add in my oats and let that cook for about 10 to 15 minutes. Oatmeal is one of my favorite breakfasts because it keeps me full for a long time and helps keep my energy balanced for an hour and a half to 2-hour ballet class. After the oats have finished cooking, I add them to a bowl and top with banana, raspberries, strawberries, almond butter, walnuts, and finish it off with some cinnamon. And I typically eat this after I finished a light workout, just some strength and conditioning exercises in the morning, which I'll just have some coffee with my favorite dairy-free creamer beforehand. I also bring snacks with me. They're good to have when I don't have much time in between a class. Here I brought a Go Macro bar and I made a small protein drink that I just shake up with some almond milk and my favorite vegan protein powder.
So for breakfast, I started with these delicious vegan pancakes. They're packed with protein and it keeps me full for so long. So first I start making a vegan buttermilk with just a little bit of apple cider vinegar in my almond milk. Then I'm adding almond flour, oat flour, a little bit of sugar, some baking powder, and chia seeds for the omegas. And then there's just some vanilla extract, some cinnamon, and mixing all that up. I've truly started to like these more than traditional pancakes. I even add banana to it sometimes. So these are a great way to start my day because I will go and work out after eating these, and it fuels my workout pretty well. After my workout, I go home and make my green smoothie. It's just kale, spinach, half a banana, some almond milk, and whatever vegan protein powder I have. And it's a good way to get extra protein in. I've been making this smoothie for years. I try not to ever miss a day. I've been obsessed with this smoothie. I think it gives my skin a healthy glow. I could feel myself dry if I miss a day.
For lunch, I'm going to be making a miso maple harvest bowl. I'm starting off preparing my roasted vegetables by coating chopped sweet potatoes with olive oil, maple syrup, 5-spice, and some cinnamon. Then I'm adding in some chopped carrots and giving that a stir. Then I add in some red onions and make sure everything is evenly coated. Then I transfer the vegetables to a baking pan to roast at 425 degrees for 20 to 30 minutes. Now I'm going to be preparing the miso maple tahini dressing. To a bowl, I'm adding some tahini, apple cider vinegar, and miso concentrate. I'm giving that a stir and then adding some olive oil and maple syrup. I was having trouble getting it to fully incorporate, so I ended up using my electric whisk. You could also do this in a blender as well. Finally, I added in some cinnamon and a bit of salt and pepper and mixed it up again. Now I'm going to be preparing my tempeh that I have already pre-steamed, which removes a bit of the bitterness and gives it a better flavor. I added the tempeh to a bowl and coated it in the miso tahini dressing. Then I transferred the tempeh to a baking pan and bake it for 25 minutes at 400 degrees. Next, to prepare my kale, I'm just massaging it with some olive oil to make it a little bit more tender and easier to digest. And now to assemble everything together, I'm adding in quinoa that I've already pre-cooked, as well as the kale, and the 5-spice roasted vegetables, and our tempeh. Then I'm adding in some dried cranberries on top, as well as vegan feta, and finishing it off with the miso maple tahini dressing. And sometimes, along with lunch, I love to have a kombucha. Now I'm going to be preparing another snack, which I might have till the end of my dancing day or on my commute home. This is multigrain crackers along with some guacamoles, along with some sort of fruit. Today I have apples.
For lunch, I'm having this protein pasta salad.
I have this amazing tofu press that gets all the moisture out. This is a lifesaver. If you want to try tofu, this is what you need to get. For the tofu feta, it's apple cider vinegar, some oregano, some garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of water, and some lemon juice. And I shake that up and let it marinate for like 2 hours at least.
And this was my leftovers from dinner last night. I use chickpea pasta and add some black olives, red onion, tomato, a little bit of pesto that I had just frozen in my freezer.
Funny enough, about 2 weeks before going vegan, I told somebody that I would never go vegan. I went vegan because of a health scare in my family, and doing research, I learned about how good it is for you and how important a plant-based diet is, and I fell in love with the idea of it.
It tastes just like feta cheese.
And then of course midday, I grab a protein bar. These things are my absolute favorite.
For dinner, I'm going to be making a chickpea salad sandwich along with some pumpkin lentil soup. I'm going to begin by assembling the chickpea salad first. I'm adding the chickpeas to a bowl and mashing them up thoroughly, and then tossing in some chopped carrots, celery, and onion. Mixing it up again, then adding in some vegan mayo, pepper, and dried cilantro. Once everything is well combined, I'll move on to making the sandwich. I've toasted 2 pieces of bread and I'm adding vegan mayo to both slices, topping with tomato, avocado, sprouts, lettuce, and finishing it off with the chickpea salad. I've also heated up some pre-made pumpkin lentil soup to serve with my sandwich. And this has to be one of my favorite recipes. It's so good after a long day.
For dinner, I made this couscous that's kind of loosely based off of the Mendocino Farms couscous. And the really cool thing about this is I make my own tofu out of red lentils, and I'll show you how to do that. So I start by putting rinsed red lentils into my blender and pour some boiling hot water over it. Let that sit for about 15 to 20 minutes. Blend that all up till it's nice and smooth, and I add it to a pot on the stove at medium-high heat with about 1.5 cups of water, and then I just stir until it gets really thick, and then transfer it to a glass container. Try to smooth it out, and then this will be my tofu. It's so simple, it saves me money, and it's a much more natural tofu, especially for those who can't have soy or just want a less processed option. So we're gonna roast the cauliflower, broccoli, and carrots. And then I'm just seasoning the tofu, throwing some olive oil, some onion powder, some spicy curry powder, a little bit of salt. I throw some almond flour in there instead of regular flour just because I like it a little bit more and it gives it kind of a nutty sweetness to it. Add a little bit of cinnamon and throw that in with the veggies. Going vegan and focusing on my protein has really been amazing for my body, and that's why I've stuck with it.